Where are you from in the US?
California.
California, nice. What brings you to the UK?
Just visiting.
Austin, Texas.
San Francisco, California.
So what brings you to the UK?
Just travel, chilling.
Yeah?
Just chilling. Yeah,
How long you been here?
This is my 4th day.
How long will you be here in total?
Last day here too.
Oh, okay, cool.
Originally from the US, live right outside New York City, and I'm doing a foreign exchange program in London here today.
And how long have you been here?
6 days.
And how long will you stay here?
3 months.
3 months, alright. How do you feel the rest of the world sees Americans?
Being here for 6 days, I think people think Americans are not the brightest and not the most inclusive. Meeting people in London just all over the place. Could be Irish, could be British, could be other Europeans.
What kind of things have they said to you that makes you think that or done?
I just think that everyone's kind of a little bit more, when they hear I'm an American, I don't know, they don't want to be as friendly to me as they would to the other European countries. That's at least what I've seen. Maybe I'm wrong. I've only been here for 6 days.
And how do you find that as an experience?
It's been fine, honestly. I think a lot of Americans think they're the best.
We the best.
So they don't really mind.
Oh, I don't think people like us at all, and I don't blame them. I mean, we're kind of a mess, so.
Okay,
yeah.
fair enough. Why do you think the rest of the world sees you as a mess? What is it about the USA that you think they may see as a mess, or any other reasons they may not like the USA?
I think their politics are pretty messy and tend to kind of be messy around other kind of international countries as well.
With trepidation because of our election
Okay.
and our culture.
Why do you think the rest of the world views it with trepidation because of those things?
Because of the social disorder that's going on right now, primarily, and the political state and lack of logical services.
Number 1, fat. Number 2, greedy. But you guys all like us on the low, so number 3, cocky.
And how do you as an American view the rest of the world?
I'm excited for the rest of the world. I love meeting people from all over the place. And I think a lot of Americans, it could be anywhere. It could be from Kansas, could be from California, it could be from New York. They want to meet new people and they're very excited to meet new people. And I think Americans get that rap that, they just think they're the best and they want to just keep everyone away, when in reality, coming to the US, I don't think that. I think any tourist that comes will kind of quickly realize that everyone's probably the most friendly.
Oh, I think the rest of the world is pretty cool. I mean, I think a lot of other countries seem to be pretty better off than the US.
Any countries in particular that you think are better off, and why do you think they're better off than the US?
I think a lot of the Scandinavian countries tend to have a much higher happiness rate and just generally tend to just have a lot better healthcare laws and just a lot better policies.
Have you been to any of the Scandinavian countries?
I have not.
Okay. Which countries have you been to aside from the USA?
I've been to Italy, been here, I've been to Spain, Greece, Mexico.
So from those countries, thinking, which do you think had some things that were better than the US?
I mean, I'm not super familiar with other countries' politics, but I do think a lot of European countries, especially like Italy and Spain, I think generally just like the pace of life is a lot slower and more relaxed, which I think is a lot better. I think everyone just seemed more laid back and just like much more happy than the US.
But you're from California. I hear California is crazy in terms of the pace of life and how people see things.
Yes, people are still very intense, just like very like in a hippie way.
As an American, I view the rest of the world, most of the world, as a great place to be. I think we need to deal with we need to come together as a universe, as a society, a global society, and deal with global warming and science. Other than that, I mean, it's such a big question. What can I say?
Number 1, skinny. Number 2, conservative. And number 3, very humble. But the food in San Francisco is much better than the food anywhere else. So I think that a lot of people outside the United States don't know food.
Aside from the USA, which country do you admire the most and why?
I would say my parents are from the Republic of Georgia, small country right by Russia. So if I were to admire one country, it's that, because they've gone through a lot and they've still managed to keep a country together, keep one of the most beautiful countries in Europe, Asia together. So I think that country is very admirable.
Have you ever been to Georgia?
Yes.
Tell us about your experiences in Georgia.
Food's great. The natural landscape is second to none. And I think that a lot of the people there, you kind of get to experience something new, particularly when I can speak the language. So I get to feel less like a tourist there.
And say something in Georgian to the world if you want to.
Gamarjoba, Memquia Luca.
What was that?
Hi, my name's Luca.
Okay, cool.
I don't know about specific countries. I'm going to go with just Scandinavian countries again, just because I do really like a lot of their policies. I'm not super familiar with super specific policies, but in general, I know that they're kind of a little more leaning towards socialist policies, which I really admire.
Ireland.
Why is that?
I think they have great social order, services. It's a beautiful country. And then England, Scotland, Great Britain, other places in Europe.
Have you been to Ireland?
Yes, I have.
Okay. What was it about Ireland that you liked the most or really spoke to you that makes you admire it?
Well, maybe a little sentimental value there because of my heritage, but they have great women's rights, great healthcare system. It's a small country, so you can get just wherever you want to be.
I'm going to say Mexico. I like Mexico because a lot of people don't know about Mexico City.
What is there to know about Mexico City that makes you admire it?
Very clean, very good food, and it's a hidden gem.
If anyone goes to Mexico City, what do you recommend they should do?
Try any place, any food place that is in sight because it's always going to be good.
What stereotypes do Americans have about other countries that are completely wrong?
British dress well. They dress really well. I think everyone's wearing an awesome trench coat when I see one. So Canadians being incredibly nice is super true. All that stuff. So a lot of the good things are true. Some of the bad stereotypes have truth to them.
Which ones?
That British can be reserved, definitely true. Stuff like that.
I mean, I think there's a lot. I think Americans especially tend to really like put other countries into specific categories. I think stereotypes about the UK are really funny. I think there's a lot of stereotypes, especially about fashion for a lot of other countries, especially the UK. And food. Oh my god, Americans, everyone says that food in the UK is really bad. I've only been here for like 2 days so far, but like the food has been pretty good actually.
What have you had that you liked?
I just went to a vegan restaurant, which was really good. A lot of really good stuff. I went to an Italian place last night, and everyone says they don't use seasoning here, but all my food has been seasoned so far, which has been...
But it sounds you've gone to mostly places that aren't, it's non-British food.
That's true, that's true. I should have some British food.
I think there's a lack of open-mindedness in the United States when it comes to the healthcare system and social values. And so many countries are much more progressive in that world, in that vein.
So you think that Americans think that they have a better healthcare system than they probably do, and other countries have better healthcare systems than America? Is that what you're saying?
Other countries have better healthcare systems than America, and I don't think Americans care about the values. The majority of our country doesn't. There's too much. I mean, money is great, capitalism is great, but there needs to be a better balance.
Not everyone is mean. I think people think that someone will walk right past you. That's not true. There's also another thing. You guys say that, if you hold your phone out, like somebody's gonna steal it. Like if you have your phone out like this. Maybe because I'm a big guy, but that ain't happened to me.
I was literally about to say to you, how tall are you?
6'2".
Exactly.
6'2".
So people are stealing,
Maybe-
people are stealing from us as much as they're stealing from other people.
Yeah.
And we don't look like the type of people to steal from. That's what I think anyway. I was literally going to say, because you're a big guy, no one's going to steal
Right.
from you. But other people do get their phone snatched,
Yeah.
especially smaller women. So I should definitely get a phone snatched. Yeah.
But the fashion is good out here too. Amazing fashion. People think it's New York. The fashion in London, I love it.
Nice.
Yes.
What fashion have you seen in London that you really like?
Well, I mean, in San Francisco, you can't wear like jackets and scarves. It gets hot, you can wear a light jacket, but you can't wear I've seen some of the most expensive peacoats. I've seen Rick Owens, some good stuff.
Do you think Americans value the culture and traditions of other countries? And if so, why? If not, why?
Definitely that. I think Americans try to bring in other cultures of countries and then use them in their own culture. That shows the most admiration, in my opinion. And I think that a lot of Americans, they try to experience new things, maybe more than other countries do. But honestly, from my experience, that's in my take. At least as an American, when I go to other places, I'm not trying to just go to for example, in London, I'm not just trying to go to the Big Ben and the London Eye. I'm trying to walk to Primrose Hill, meet some new people, go to the more niche museums, read a Charles Dickens book, sit in a Marylebone cafe, and just kind of experience what London and any country has to offer.
Yes, but I do think Americans tend to kind of just see them very at surface level and just kind of take traditions and other parts of their culture and just kind of like have more fun with it and kind of make it more Americanized rather than actually seeing like the deeper like value and history behind them.
I think American is a little bit more centered towards like a luxurious lifestyle, but there's only a few places in America where it's like more family oriented. London's different because everyone lives alone, but outside of London, Europe, it's more family oriented. So I think Americans don't like that.
How do you think the media influences how the US views the rest of the world, or how Americans view the rest of the world?
Enormously. I think a lot of Americans think, at least right now, they think London can be unsafe, and I think that has to do with a lot of the media. And when I got here, I felt 99% safe unless I'm walking around at 3 in the morning. So I think that was a big shock. I was kind of nervous. I was like, oh, they're saying the UK is not as safe, but now I'm thinking, oh, it's pretty good.
I mean, I think US media is very, very just focused on the US and does not show a lot about international news at all. I think even in my own like sources of media, media, I think it's really hard to come across news that touches on like foreign policies in international countries and just other news besides the US. And so I think a lot of Americans are really just focused on like the US as the center of the world.
How do you think that affects how Americans see the rest of the world?
I mean, I think Americans tend to kind of see a lot of countries and other cultures as kind of beneath them because I think they think the US is above and like the only thing that's important.
What do you think the US does better than other countries?
I mean, I think the US is good at having a lot of different stuff. I mean, I think the US has a lot of different cultures in one, and I think that's really interesting, is that like I live in New York, and I think it's so cool how it's like you really have people from all different countries and all different like ancestries all together and so many different neighborhoods with different histories, and I think it's just like, yeah, it's so many different ethnicities and people from all different walks of life, which I really love.
It's become a little too commercialized. NPR is the best. Fox is the worst. That's it. I don't know.
So you don't think there's any way that what's put out by, say, Fox affects how Americans see other countries, and if so, how does it affect?
I think what Fox puts out is very biased in a negative way, and I don't watch it enough. I don't watch it, period. So I really don't know how it might influence the public's opinion of most other countries, other than to say the conservative, capitalistic way of American culture is what they push, what they believe in.
If you ever see in film, they have like a blue tent for cold cities, Russia, and then like an orange tent for like Mexican cities and like very rural towns. You ever see that? Like third world countries? It's like super like warm tinted camera film. So I think it influences how we see like how rich or poor everyone is. Like coming into this is my first time in London. I honestly thought this was a lot of rich people out here compared to honestly everyone is pretty much the same that it is in San Francisco, and that's the same for rural cities too. We're all the same, bro.
What surprised you the most so far living outside of the US?
And other places have really good food too.
What food have you really loved in the UK so far?
Mayfair chippy.
What did you get? Just chips or?
Fish and chip.
I've never been there. I might have to go there.
Incredible. Best fish and chips I've ever had.
All right. What do you think the US could learn from other countries?
I think other countries, people get outside more. I think they walk. You see a lot more people walking around, having a good time in the park, sitting around in a cafe, enjoying the small things. In the US, I feel like everyone's just trying to get to the next thing. And, you know, that's amazing. It's great to be a part of such an ambitious country, but it's also great to kind of enjoy the small things.
What do you think the US could learn from other countries?
How to be reasonable, how to education, healthcare, all of those things that are so fundamental to human being. Women's rights. And I don't think the United States or America is in a position to learn anything from other countries. There's a lot of negativity being put out in the political system, especially the most recent elected political party. So I would like to think that we could learn something from other countries, but I think we're too set in our ways.
For context, United States is always number one to me. I could never live anywhere else but the United States, but there are some things that are so much different, like tipping. I can only tip on Uber because that's a United-based. Like I just came to like a 4-star, 3-star restaurant. I couldn't tip. Unless you got some pounds, then you could tip.
So that's what you like. You wish you didn't have to tip in the US.
No. I own a business, so I mean, I want to get tipped. I'm just saying that's one thing that's much different than UK. Or just, yeah, the UK.
And that's something the US could learn, maybe.
But I think that shows the values, and it shows that, you know, this place is a little bit more family oriented, I would say.
Also,
because it's more so than when you're tipping, you're adding on. And if someone refuses a tip, or, I mean, you're pretty much refusing a tip if you're not asking. It shows that they're pretty much putting you in their house and wiping their feet for you.
if you could combine the best aspects of the USA with the rest of the world, what would they be?
You know, that's a tough question to answer because the rest of the world has so much to offer, and so does the USA. And I think a lot of people forget that the US is 50 states, and a lot of the states have their own amazing identity. A lot of the regions have their own amazing identity. The same way Eastern Europe has an amazing identity, the same way Western Europe has an amazing identity, the same way North and Southern Africa have an amazing identity. I think there's just so much to take away. If it were perfect, right, everyone would just have the best food ever, right? So that's kind of my thing.
What's the best food from the US?
I'd say the best classic American food that you won't get anywhere else is barbecue. You just won't have that in Europe, in Africa, in Asia. You just won't have that anywhere else.
What kind of barbecue?
Ribs, brisket, pork, any of that. Unbelievable.
I would change all the politics of the USA, but keep the people and keep the landscapes and the views.
I don't think there's anything I can offer right now. I'm afraid that our national park system is under threat. You know, maybe the culture of the general public. I have a very narrow view right now. I'm very disillusioned by what's going on in the United States, and I don't think there's anything that I can say that's great about America. I mean, America's great. Beautiful land, different geography, but I'm not sure that there's something that we have that we could give to the world or compare to other countries that's something that I want to, that's positive.
Food, 100%. I just mix all the food together.
Okay.
That's all it'd be. I get the best chef from Italy, the best escargot guy from France. Oh, boulangerie, burgers. If you ain't never been in the United States, you don't know what a burger tastes like. There's a Five Guys down the street. It ain't got nothing on the Five Guys down the street from my house in San Francisco.
It's not the same.
It's not the same.
No?
It's
How's
not
it
the same.
different?
I don't know. The meat just tastes it. It's more unhealthy. I don't know.
In the
It
US,
just tastes-
okay.
it's-
But it tastes better 'cause it's unhealthy.
we have a lot more oils in our stuff.
Going a little bit political. So, given that Trump has a big stance on immigration, and what you just talked about, a whole bunch of different communities, some of those communities will be made up of immigrants. What do you think about that in terms of, Trump is talking about making people leave the US who are immigrants? That's going to take away from some of that cultural diversity that you talked about.
I mean, I heavily disagree with pretty much all of Trump's policies. I mean, I think especially on immigration, I think pretty much everyone in the US has come here at some point as an immigrant besides indigenous Americans. And I mean, I think it's like even some of my best friends are from other countries, and I think it's really stupid. I think immigration is really what makes it the US. Like, it's everybody's an immigrant, and I think it's really stupid to try and make people leave.
But then how do you manage controlled immigration so that it's not, because again, from what I see, it's the Americans who have an issue with immigration, it's the immigrants are taking our jobs, immigrants are crippling infrastructure.
I think there's a lot of stuff that's already wrong with the way our jobs are set up and with the way that the workforce is set up in healthcare. And so I think it's really not fair to say that immigrants are the ones ruining the US and the ones taking away jobs. The society is kind of already so messed up without immigrants anyways. And so I think we need to just focus on how to fix our infrastructure before we worry about the damage that immigrants are doing to it.
And any final comments to the world, I guess, in general?
Tottenham and Arsenal playing, so go Arsenal tonight.
You gotta travel more. That's it.
Agreed, 100%.
Yeah,
Thank you,
yeah.
man. I appreciate it. Hi everyone, my name is Korede and I'm embarking on an exciting challenge going from 100 subscribers to 10,000 subscribers in 1 month. I need your help to achieve this. I am a YouTuber, I make great exciting videos, traveling, asking people about hot topics. You can check out my videos, subscribe, follow, share and like. Let's hit this target of 10,000 subscribers in 1 month. Together we can do this. Let the internet unite and let's make this happen.